shall we start? I have uploaded the latest paper to the LMS. 17 exemption paper, September. You can refer this. This is the old format is same, but this is a good paper. Some of the questions you all can attempt now itself. But this is not a much difficult paper, but case study types, it's very practical paper, right? So the how do audit engagement differs from review engagement? What are the mandatory elements of letter of engagement? What methods are used for confirmations as substandard procedures? Direct confirmation and positive confirmation and negative confirmation. Right? And then what does the term sampling gap mean? What's the most suitable basis for calculating maturity in a statutory audit or startup company? What's the answer for this? Last thing we discussed. What is the most suitable basis for calculating maturity in a statutory audit or startup company? So then these things you can answer. Already we have discussed. The startup company material basis. Material basis calculate we have three bases, right? Are they? Profit basis, activity basis, capital basis. These are the three bases we can use for activity calculations. Activity basis name as a startup company, what is the suitable maturity level? Startup company, normally we don't have profits, right? At the initial stage. So then, at the initial stage, we are focusing about the activity, number of sales. So then we are not using profitability or gross margin, we are using the revenue as the maturity basis. So then you have the answer is what? Answer is activity basis, right? What factors that should be considered to identify significant risk in audit engagement? We have already discussed this. Risk. This topic we discussed. Different topics. Risk. Audit risk. Business risk. Audit risk divided into three: control risk, detection risk, Inherent risk, right? From these risks, the question asks how we are going to identify significant risk. Significant risk. What factors that should be considered to identify significant risk in an audit engagement? Significant risk. What factors? First one, uh, first one, we discussed this way. And you remember that? Impact, frequency. Make it into a magnitude, magnitude, frequency, occurrence. Uh, yes. So they can. So then you have a risk. Deviation from the expectation. We expect something, what are the challenges to that? Right? That challenges will impact the auditors. So then audit risk means auditor has the objective to issue the audit opinion. So what are the challenges? What are the impacts? What are the deviation from expectation that will impact the control risk, detection risk, and inherent risk? So then once you are evaluating all those risks, you can evaluate the impact to the opinion as well as the frequency. Frequency of occurrence, impact, magnitude. අපේ ඒ රිස්ක් එක වෙන්න ඕනේ ඒකේ ලොකු ඉම්පැක්ට් එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ රිස්ක් එක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒක සිග්නිෆිකන්ට් රිස්ක් එකක්. ඒක තමයි කියන දේ. ඒ කියන්නේ සමහර රිස්ක් තියෙනවා උනාට සෑහෙන අඩු ඉම්පැක්ට් එක. හැබැයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙනවා. පෙටි කෑෂ් එකේ වෙන ෆ්‍රෝඩ් petty cash के fraud වෙන්න පුළුවන් impact එක අඩු ගොඩක් වෙනවා. key වලට sanitary facilities වලට ගන්න කිව්වට යාළුවා ඩිස්කවුන්ට් කියනවා හැමදාමනේ. හැමදාම වෙනවා හැබැයි impact එක අඩුයි. මේ පැත්තට ගත්තොත් frequency එක අඩුයි impact එක වැඩි. tsunami එකක් එන එකනේ. natural disaster එකක් වෙන එකේ frequency එක අඩුයි. හැමදාම tsunami වෙනවද නැහැ? හැමදාම landslide තියෙනවද නැහැ? We don't have. So the frequency less impact high. So those are the risks, true risks. But here, impact also should be high, the frequency also should be high. That type of risk we consider as significant risk. Right? Make another. So then I'm asking, what factors that should be considered to identify significant risk in an audit engagement? What factors towards frequency and the impact? කතා කරපු අනිවාර්යෙන් අහන්න ඕනේ මේකේ. දන්නේ නැහැ වගේ, ඉඳාගෙන වගේ, දැන් කළ හිටී ගම තේරුමක් නැහැ. බලදැම්ම පාඩම් කරන්න ගන්න. So the how can auditor reduce detection risk? How can auditor reduce detection risk? Detection risk is what? Audit risk consists of three elements: control risk, detection risk, and the inherent risk. Detection is relating to the to auditor. Auditor. So then, I'm not asking what is the detection risk. I'm asking how can auditor reduce detection risk? How can auditor reduce detection risk? What we can do? Point to not know. How can auditor reduce detection risk? Yes, having experience is the one. Then, what does it plan? Very plan it's a product. Why? So, properly planned audit came part of the so, properly planned audit, you can create that experience game. Right? It's a kind of wide answer. That's correct. We can get both as one answer. What else? No, the intelligent one. If you want to again get the bad, you can no rejection is that. What you can do. Yang naik ini berapa? Belum ada kita. Audit jadi kita. Mata ada jadi peluang. Mau ada di sekarang nanti ini mau ada kerjaan belum ada kalau ini kerjaan betul. Karena insya kita. There's no hard and fast answer. There's no specified three bullet points. I can update my answers with that if you are giving creative answers. Last year required. एक बारह रिटेल मैच proper sampling techniques. अभी sampling techniques use करा. Correct sampling techniques. So then, you have to plan audit procedures, customize audit procedures, with the contest, right? And then allocate experienced people as you have said, and then proper review process. Establish a proper review process. Use accurate judgment. Use engagement quality reviewer support. You can use expert support to the engagement. Expert support even you can reduce detection with experts. High technical area and they want to be father then the latest favorite. Orang tak ada paling syllabus itu mana favorite dia. Terus pelajaran mana pasal itu macam ni ada puluh. Mana pasal itu ada nanti. Then this is a type of paper you will be given. This is another 3 months time. Then at that time I don't want to any surprises. Now you will get surprised and study hard, think about this subject and practically you should learn this. That's the request. Last moment you can't do miracles, right? Okay. Others can't be addressed because we have not covered yet. Number 9. Number 8. Under what circumstances can an auditor issue a qualified opinion? That also can, right? That also can. What are the two circumstances? Two scenarios? Take a two. Make a band. Under what circumstances can an auditor issue a qualified opinion? Take a band. Huh? ඒක මම කියන පාඩ 26 වෙනි පාඩ මෝඩ් එකේ යද්දම එන්න කොටු හතරක් අන්නන්න මතක කරගන්න. දාන්න නේද? පාඩ 26 වෙනි පාඩක් පොතේ තියලා. ඒක මතක නැත්නම් අපේ. එයාට මතකයි. එයාගෙන් අහගන්න. මෙතන දාලා ඔඩිට් ඔපිනියන් එක දෙනකොට නේද? මේක ඇඩ්වර්ස් මේක disclaimer adverse statement මේකේ scope limitation. කතා කරන්නේ sad එක ගැන කතා කරනකොට summary of audit difference. Based on summary of audit differences, we concluded this. For summary of audit differences, we use material levels. We use all those things, right? We need to develop kind of an algorithm or link, a kind of relationship between each and every concept. That's what it is. Audit planning arrangement. Audit planning stage we have materiality calculation. Materiality calculation we have PMTE SAD. And there was a question: how can we identify this PMTE SAD? What are the usages? Once you are discussing that, one usage is once you are giving your audit opinion, you need to benchmark. So then for that, what you have to do is you have to use materiality level, and these are the two types of qualification. Maybe in the statement it may be scope limitation. Whatever the significant plus pervasive, this adverse and this level. Significant plus pervasive. So then your question may be, auditor can issue a adverse opinion. What is the situation which are supposed to issue an adverse opinion? What are there? There should be a misstatement, that should be significant plus pervasive. These are the two words you need to find. एक प्रश्न में बोला और प्रश्न है exactly. एक वेनास ने मुकर दे. Under what? Under the plural, singular. Under which circumstances? Under which situation, right? An auditor issue qualified, not adverse opinion or disclaimer opinion. That may be your question. And then, ये question लेकर दाना हो पे है. अब दे दिया. दिया यार मेरे पास. ये मेरे राजन करने में ऑडिट नॉलेज के तमाम ही हो. ये मेरे बाई प्रोडक्ट है. ऑडिट के लिए जान लो ना. और इसको ना कि कोई तू किसके जान लो मेरा. Yeah. What is the local ethical guideline for auditors in public practice? Ethical guideline. Yes, we have ethical guideline. Code of Ethics, it is introduced by Srilanka, 2023 latest version. Yes. How does an emphasis of matter paragraph differs from other matter paragraph in audit reporting? That's all about audit conclusion. Auditor can, other than this qualification, auditor can issue a emphasis of matter or other matter paragraph. Those are the two scenarios, right? Okay, this is the latest paper. This paper I have uploaded to the LMS. You all can go through this and practice, right? Here we have different questions. We have bad reconciliation. How are we going to audit this? Hotel company, hotel related company was there, and Uber Pick Me, captain, taxi service related company was there, and one TV channel was there that's related to the presidential election. Reflect TV made a significant impact with comprehensive coverage of 2024 presidential election. The program direction, featuring a panel of political party representatives, has notably boosted the channel popularity. This extensive media coverage, including live broadcasts of election results and candidate advertisements, has also led a surge in demand for the newspaper replays. Additionally, the RT Association has been appointed as a statutory audit, right? But explain, identify focus areas on revenue recognition and key audit responses for the various revenue sources, newspaper sales and revenue from advertisement. Newspaper sales වලයි advertisement revenue වලයි audit procedures කියන්නේ කියලා තමයි ඒ level එකට වාට පුළුවන් වෙනවා. මොන business එක දැක්කා මොන business source එක දැක්කා audit කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා එක තමයි මම හිතුවා මම මේකේදී කතා කරන්නේ advertisement audit කරන විදිහේ procedures. මම කොහොමද කතා කරන්නේ newspaper sales audit කරන විදිහ. newspaper sales report කරන විදිහ. regular expense කරන විදිහ. හරියටම ඇත්තටම newspaper කියන්නේ money laundering කරන්න පුළුවන් කොහොම විදිහද? cosmetics, newspapers, gym, tuition classes, hotels are පුළුවන්. ඉතින් hotel occupancy එක අපිට maintain කරන්න බෑ. business එක ගියාද නැද්ද? government කියන්නේ බෑ. ඉතින් කල්සාලි එනවා. office business එකේ විදියක් කියලා. පොත විදියක් තමයි ඒක. දෙක newspapers ලොකු companies එකකට දෙන්න. අපි කියනවා newspaper එකක් කියලා. newspaper එකක් කියලා බලන්න බෑ. අවුල් ගන්න කොච්චර දෙකකට කොච්චර විදිහට. newspaper දාලා කවුරු කරන්නේ? cosmetics, say, cosmetics, what no one can do. Like cosmetics business. And hotels, restaurants, and hotel and hotel houses. That's it. Hotel, so those are the ways people can use for money laundering purpose. So then if it is so, as auditor, you need to have proper audit procedures to address this. So then, that's why I am requesting, always requesting, you to be very practical. Use this knowledge to the practical scenario. Otherwise, reading something, trying to recall something and putting that in the paper, that's it, done. Take out the techniques. It is like that, then we forever again unknown. Making dictation part and making one thing again. We learn paper company. It is a very hard, you have to study already. So then whatever the position you are heading in near future within another 5-10 years time, this is very useful, right? Definitely 90% sure, as I said, you will be auditee, 90%. Another 5%, you will be an auditor. auditor or some regulator or monitoring board or something like that. 5% are when a field is doctor engineering ඒ තොරිත් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔරිජිනල් කෙනෙක් කියන්නේ ඉංජිනේර කෙනෙක් එයාට තොරිත් තියෙනවා. පොලිස් කන්ට්‍රෝල් ඔරිජිනල් තියෙනවා. මට තොරිත් නැහැ. But doctors are totally chatting. But they are doing, they are following that procedure going on. They may have audits. So then, audit is a kind of a activity you have to face one day. Okay, right. So last week we completed planning and risk assessment. Anything you want to clarify? I agree to do kind of a recap today. Do we need? Then we go to execution straight away. Planning and risk assessment, right? We have here as auditor, right? Independent auditor. Independent auditor. Our objective is to issue an audit opinion, right? Audit opinion. To deliver this audit opinion, we may have two types of clients. That may be a new client, that may be a recurring client. Recurring client. අලුත් audit එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අලුත්ම කෙනෙක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඊයවලුත් කරපු audit එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So whatever the scenario, you need to initiate this audit, you need to plan this audit, you need to assess the risk. You can't say that last year I did this audit, because of that I am not going to do risk assessment for this year. You can't say that. You have to assess the risk for this year, because annually and business can be changed and people may be changed, processes getting changed, economic situation or business environment, all those things getting changed with the technological and political, economical aspects. All business scenarios getting changed, right? You may have a new audit or a recurring audit. So whatever the audit, first what you have to do is you have to do independence evaluation, engagement acceptance procedures, engagement or client acceptance procedures. මේව ලියන්න එපා. ඒක තුන් හතර පාරක් ඔස්සේ ලියන්න තියෙනවා. හරිද? ඔරුවට ලියන්න එපා. අහන්න කිව්වේ නෑ. තුන් හතර පාරක් නේ 6 පාරක් විතර ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. පොතේ ලියන්න ඕන. පොත් ලියන්න එපා. මම කිව්ව නේද? මම කවදාවත් මේකකින් පොතේ ලියන්නේ. ලෙක්චර්ස් වල. නෝට් ඇත්තෙම නෑ. අහගෙන ඉන්න එක විතරයි. අන්තිමට නෝට් එකක් ඕන වෙනවා. එතකොට හොඳට ලියපු ළමයෙක්ගේ ෆොටෝ මේක ගන්න. ඒක ළමයෙක් ලියන්න ඕන. That's okay. The priority is to listen to the lecture. Otherwise, you can get a photocopy from outside. And then the lecture notes are there here. Like it. So you need to focus, you need to listen. And not only listening, you need to link your my voice and the appearance and whatever the interface to your mind. That's the good part. Then they balance in the country again. See the attack mind එකත් එක්ක link වෙලා නැහැ. ඔය බලන් ඉන්නවා. පාට ශබ්දය ඇහෙනවා. අනිත් ශබ්දය ඇහෙනවා. ඇස් දෙකෙන් පේනවා. එච්චරයි වෙන්නේ. 60කට 40ක් අහන් ඉන්නවා. දෙකට මයින්ඩ් එක ලින්ක් කරලා තියෙනවා. 60 මේ දෙක විතරයි. අහන් ඉන්නවා. ඇස් පේනවා. පේන මොකක් හරි වෙනවා කියලා ඉස්සරහා. හැබැයි මයින්ඩ් එකට ලින්ක් වෙලා නැහැ. එතකොට මේ මොනෝ කියනවද දන්නේ. මොනෝ කතා කරනවද කියලාද දන්නේ. खाली මේ ඔඩිට් ඇෂුරන්ස් කියලාද හිතෙන්නේ. ඒක කරන්නේ නැහැ. So then you have to link with your whatever the inputs to your mind. Otherwise, you are not concentrating. That's all about concentration. If you can't do that, you have to do meditation or whatever the religion you are representing. You have to improve your intellectual power. Otherwise, all පාඩම් කරන්න ගියාම මේක වෙනවා. මොකද එක පිටුවක් බලාගෙන පැය 4ක් විතර බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. මොකද ඔයා මේ බලන් ඉන්න ලින්ක් එක ශරීරව කැඩෙනවා. ඔයාට එක එක දේවල් අපිට මතක් වෙනවා. නේද? එක එක දේවල් වලට ලින්ක් වෙනවා මයින්ඩ් එක. So that's a serious problem. That's a kind of a difficulty to do studies and reading for the exam. If you are in a very stressful situation, it's really difficult to develop this link between mind and these inputs. You can't concentrate. So for this, you have to do some activities and මේක හදාගන්න ඇඟ හදාගන්න පුළුවන් ජිම් එකට ගිහිල්ලා නේද? පාඩම් මොන හරි සින්දු කියන්න ඕන නම් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරලා කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඩාන්ස් කරන්න ඕන මේක පුළුවන්. මේක කරන්නේ ලේසියෙන් නෑ. එනේ ඉන්පුට් එකක් දෙන්න මයින්ඩ් එක ලින්ක් කරන ගොඩක් කළා තියාගන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක්. ඒක අමාරු නම් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් ඒක ලැජ්ජ වෙන්න දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. පාඩම් කරන්න මේව කරන්න කන්සන්ට්‍රේට් කරන්න අමාරු. That can be. There may be situations, right? There may be situations, depression situations, stressful situations. Very normal. You have to do practice. Practice කරලා හොඳ strong වෙන්න පුළුවන්. වාට mentality එක එකම දෙයක් නෙමෙයි තියන්න ඉන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. තව step එකක් එහාට ගිහිල්ලා මට පුළුවන් නම් mentally zero කරලා ඉන්න. ඒක වෙනමම තමයි. ඒක කියන්නේ මුකුත් හිතන්න නැතුව ඉන්න පුළුවන්. මුකුත් හිතන්නේ නැහැ කියලා හිතනවා නම් ඒකත් අවුල. So then if you can't think anything, that's a different situation. Blank mind එක blank කරලා ඉන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි නිදාගෙන නෙමෙයි. දාගන්නකොට ඒක වෙනවා. එතකොට වගේ මේ උඩු හිත යටි හිත කියලා දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. දන්නවද? විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය කියන්නේ උඩු හිත කියලා දන්නවා යටි හිත කියලා කියනවා. මම කියන්නේ මෙන්න උඩු හිත කියන්නේ. මේක නිදාගන්නවා කියන්නේ මේක zero කරනවා. එතෙන්ද zero කරනවා කියන එක නෙමෙයි ඕන. මොකක්ද ඕනවද? Once you are alive, you are awakening, you are dealing with, you are in a study room or kind of a religious place. What you can do is, you can remove all the links between mind, this mind, let's say 1 and 2, 1 level and 2 level. You can remove whatever the links in first level. You can do that. That's a good activity. It's very difficult, right? Very difficult. So then do practice and then studying or whatever other tasks, especially sports, can be done. Sports goda karana nawa practice karana. cricket ගහනවා. වඩා ටියුබ් ලයිට් වෙන්න බෑ. ටක්කාල ලින්ක් වෙන්න ඕන. බෝල එන තැන ඉඳලා ඇක්ෂන් ලින්ක් කරලා ඇක්ෂන් වෙන්න ඕන. කොහොමද ඇක්ෂන් වෙනවා කියන්නේ? වාගේ මේ ඇහැට පේන්න ඕන. pictures sound එක මේ වෙන්න ඕන. ඒක මයින්ඩ් එකට ලින්ක් වෙලා දැන් ඔයාලා නිකන් ඉන්නෝ විතරයි. වාගේ ඊට පස්සේ වෙන්න ඕන රියැක්ෂන් එක මොකද්ද? You have to react. To do the reactions time, decision making should be very fast. To do that, you have to have a good practice of this. That's why we are requesting to do a sport. Sport එකක් කරනවා නම් ඒක තමයි ආර්ට් එක. But studies to place එක. But ශනිකව react කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකට ඇයි examination එක react කරන්න ඕනේ. ප්‍රශ්න දැක ගම උත්තරේට react වෙනවා. ඔයා ස්පෝර්ට් එකක් කරලා තියෙනවා. ශනිකව කික් කරනවා. ඒකයි වාට කියන්නේ දුව ස්පෝර්ට් එක. දැන් ඒක actively ඉන්නවා කියන එක හොඳයි. Mentally it's really helpful to make decisions. Right? Now you can start the sport. Do a sport. Right? So, table tennis වගේ කරනවා නම් කොහොමද? නේද? table tennis කරනවා නම් reaction time එක ඊට වඩා වැඩි. ඒකත් හොඳයි ස්පෝර්ට් එක. But table tennis කරනවා you can do badminton, right? Whatever indoor games or outdoor games. Chess hondai. Chess hondai mentally. Right? You have time. Right? Ekedi age physically godak me wenne. How is this sport karana? Sport karana. Sport. You have to. අනිවාර්යෙන් කරන්න. ඔයාලා ස්පෝර්ට් කරන්නේ නැත්නම් මොනවාද? කියන්නේ વર્કઆઉટ્સ අනිවාර්යෙන් කරන්න. વર્કઆઉટ્ස් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක කරන්නේ කියන්නේ uneducated කියන එක. ඔය এডুকেෂන් ගන්නවා නම් දැන් අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මේ ලංකාවේ කෑම ගන්නවද නැහැ. So then food patterns we don't know. අපේ ගොඩාක් මිනිස්සු දැන් මේ කට්ටිය නම් නෝලක් නැහැ. විලේජ් එකට ගියාම අනිත් මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක කතා කරාම මිනිස්සු මොකටද ඉන්නේ? මිනිස්සු කෑමට තමයි ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. කවුරුද ඉන්නේ? මිනිස්සු කෑමට තමයි ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. කන්නද ජීවත් වෙන්නේ කන්නද? ප්‍රශ්න දෙකයි. අපි living to eat, eating to live. Two questions. Sri Lankan majority living to eat. Living to eat. So they early morning they are getting up and they are selecting foods. Right? They are going out for the job, and evening in the job also priority breakfast, tea, and lunch hour. Enjoying all those things, evening tea, coming back and going to the shop or something, food city, getting some things and come around 6:30, 7, prepare some meals for night and get it done, going to sleep. That's the routine. Village එකෙත් එහෙමමයි. යාලා ඒක තමයි try කරන්නේ. මොනවද කෑම හොයාගන්නේ කොහොමද කියන තමයි. There's no life other than that. කෑම තමයි වෙඩින් එකේ ගිහින් බලන්නකො කෑම ගන්නේ. එහෙම බෙදාගන්න. විනාඩි 30 විතර. මිනිස්සු කන්න දන්නේ නැහැ. ඕන જાති දන්නේ නැහැ. වතුර බොන්න ඕන කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. කොච්චර වතුර ඕනද? They don't know. එකම විදියට කනවා. ඕන විදියට කන්නේ නැහැ. වාගේ ඇන්ගල් මේ vehicle එකකට වඩා soft. vehicle එකකට වඩා soft. හිතන්නකෝ වාගේ දැන් ඉදි 4 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. හතර දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. යාළු දැන් මෙතන ළමයි ගොඩක් ඉන්නවනේ නේ. පොඩි දේවල් වෙනවා. ඒකට හතර දෙනා හතර විදියක්. නේද? මේක එකක් ත්‍රී වීල් එකක් බස් එකක් ගන්න කොහේ මොනවාරි අද වෙහිකල් එකක් මේක තව ජීප් එකක් හරි මොකක් හරි නේද? So four different vehicles, they want different inputs. මේකට වෙන්න පුළුවන් diesel වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේකට මේක 95 වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේක 92 වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේකට වෙන්න පුළුවන් different treatment වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේකට water on වෙන්න පුළුවන්. water නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන් නේද? ඒකට මේකට air කොච්චර ඕනද? මේකට oil කොච්චර ඕනද? ගන්න දාන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට ඔයාගේ අවශ්‍යතාවය මොකක්ද කියලා දන්නේ නැත්නම් මේ බොඩි එකට. ඒකට වැඩිපුර දැම්මම 95 වලට 92 දැම්මම වතුර නැතුව මේ ගැල යනවනම් කොහොමද නේද? රත් වෙලා මගදී නැවතිලා එන්ජින් එක වෙලා නේද? ඒක වෙනවා. කැලි දාන්න වෙලා රිප්ලේස් කරන්න වෙනවා. එන්ජින් එක අලුතෙන් තියන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඔයාගේ බොඩි එකට ඕන જાති මොනවද කියලා දන්නවද? ඕන જાති ඕන වෙලාවට දෙනවද? කොහොමද මේ වැඩ කරන්නේ? මේ පාර්ට් එකට මේක තමයි ඕන. එහෙම අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. මේ දාගන්න. ඒ જાති. මේ pattern එක with your age this is getting changed. So then if you are in grade, if you are in age 8, 18, 58, the pattern will be changed. 58 පරණ වාහනයකට තෙල් වැඩිපුර දෙන්න. පරණ වෙන්නේ what අවශ්‍ය food pattern should be changed. Right? So then likewise you should know about that. And then you need to balance your workouts. Or make ගන්න જાති workout කරන්න නැත්නම් වාගේ මේක ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙනවා ඔයා කරන ජොබ් එක. ඔයා ඇත්ලීට් කෙනෙක්ද, අකවුන්ටන්ට් කෙනෙක්ද, ඔයා මොනවද කරන්නේ කියන්නේ. ඔයා ජොබ් එක අනුව මේ ෆුඩ් පැටර්න් එක ටෝටලි චේන්ජ් වෙනවා. මොකද ඔයා වාඩි වෙලා වැඩ කරන කෙනෙක් නම් ඔයාගේ බර්න් වෙන්නේ නැහැ කැලරිස්. So then you should have workout. ඔයා ස්පෝර්ට්මන් කෙනෙක් නම් ඇඩිෂනලි workout කරන්න ඕනේ. So then you have to balance it. ඒ කියන්නේ ලංකාවේ කෙනෙක් දැක්කම හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ කොච්චර අන්බැලන්ස්ද කියලා. ඒක අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. අපේ ඊට පස්සේ ගොඩාක් කාලා දුන්නාම මේ නොකාලින්ද දැරෙන්නේ. රෙඩි වෙනවා බොඩි එක. ඒකට mentally එක requirement. පස්සේ totally unbalanced, totally unfit. Majority of Sri Lankans, they are physically unfit. That will directly impact the mental side. And then totally they are getting out. They can't work hard. But their brain power is so advanced. They can't use that. They are not active. ඒක නිසා තමයි යන්නේ මොකද? දවස් 3 වැඩ, sorry, දවසේ වැඩ, දවස් 3 වැඩ කරනවා. ලංකාවේ ඒකයි අපි මෙහෙම වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. දවස් 3ක වැඩ දවසේ වැඩ දවස් 3කින් තමයි කරන්නේ. අපිත් ඉතින්මයි. නේෂන් බාස් ඉඳලා ලොකු තැන් වලට යනකම් දවස් 3ක වැඩ දවසේ වැඩ දවස් 3කට කරන්නේ. ඒක බලා ගන්න වෙන්නේ කොහොම වුණාද? ඔයා රටක ඉති දවසට තමයි once you are going abroad you can see that. You have to work 3 days works. Here, you have to complete within 1 day. That's a must. That's why the people are telling here be really hard to work here, and work life is so much difficult. But here, yeah, lazy because of so much of reasons. We don't have much technology. All those impacted, and we are doing the work like 3 days workload. 1 day workload will be spread out to 3 days. government එකේ නම් එක දවසක කරන වැඩ සතියක නම් සතියක කරනවා. සතියක කරන්නේ එක දවසක කරනවා. government වැඩ කරනවා නම් රට යන්න හිතන්න එපා. ගෙදර ගාව වැඩ කරන්න බැහැ. හැබැයි private sector එකේ වැඩ කරනකොට දවල්ට කෑවල මොකද මතකත් නැහැ. ඒ level එකට වැඩ කරන්න තියෙන private sector එකේ. දවල් කෑවද මතකත් නැහැ. අන්න time නැහැ. එච්චරට meeting. washroom යන්න time නැහැ. එච්චරට meeting. එච්චරට වැඩ. Then for that you have to ready. You have to concentrate, right? So then that is the change we expect. Not only from you, from the whole country. We have to work hard. At least we have to work more than 12 hours to change this country. That's the goal. Not 8 hours. 12 hours should be there. We have to reduce our holidays. We have to work. We have to do outcome. That outcome should be specified. We have to customize. We have to market. That should be a unique outcome to the market to earn foreign currency. Otherwise, we can't use anything from other countries. Right? So that's a basic equation. So my request is, you have to think, you have to develop mentally and physically. Both are really important. Mentally, the physical aspect will impact to the mental aspects. Both should be developed and advanced. Then only you can have kind of a peaceful life. Ultimately, what you want to achieve, the happiness, right? Happiness is the focus. If you want to happy, you want to search the happiness. You want to realize what is the happiness. You should have a definition to happiness. That may depends to each and everyone. So your definition for happiness may vary with others. So then you have to define it. Once you are defining it, don't copy others. Their happiness may be not your happiness. So that is another wrong thing we are doing. They are thinking that we can happy like others. No. You are a different person. Your happiness may be very unique. Understand it and drive your life to that. Don't copy others. Right? So that's the education. With this education, you can understand what it is. So they try to do that. Yeah, we want to develop this concentration. That's really important. Then only you can understand what is planning and risk assessment. So the planning and risk assessment, first we completed engagement acceptance, engagement and client acceptance. Acceptance. Under this, we evaluate independence. Whether we are independent to deliver this service. We evaluated this, and secondly, we develop a letter of engagement letter in between company and the auditor. And after having the engagement letter, we send our audit team. Audit team first understand the business. Understand the business. We understood the business by using different sources, internal or external, website, on-site visit, inquiries, board visits, last audit file, different sources. And then understanding entity level controls. Entity level controls and frauds. If there are any frauds, what are the entity level controls? We are having accession level, transaction level controls and entity level controls. And then six, we receive the draft financials. And then we calculated maturity levels. Maturity levels totally depend on what? Perspective and expectation of the stakeholders. Perspective and expectation of stakeholders we decide the maturity basis. Whether it's a startup company, profitable entity, or matured company. Based on that, we decided whether we are using equity based, capital based, or profit based. Right? We calculated maturity levels. And then identify significant accounts and significant disposals. Identify significant accounts and significant disposals. And then we decide significant class of transactions, spots. Significant class of transactions. And for significant class of transaction, we perform walkthrough test. Walkthrough test. So then each and every spots we are covering through a walkthrough test. Walkthrough test means we are focusing about design and implementation effectiveness of the controls. Design and implementation. Operation we have not focusing here. Right? So then here, once you are identifying spots, we have to cover all the significant accounts and all the significant. Right? So then, it means after you are completing walkthrough test, you are aware, you are having a detailed understanding about planning, design and implementation effectiveness of the control which relates to significant accounts. You don't have any account or any disclosure which has not been linked with the scores. All the significant accounts, significant disclosures are linked with the scores. So then, in other words, you are doing a walkthrough test for each and every scores means you are covering all the significant accounts and significant disclosures. You have not missed anything. Once you are doing your review, as audit manager or senior manager, there are no any accounts which has not aware about yourself because they have already completed walkthrough test. So the common mistake is, common issue is, once you are reviewing audit file at the final stage, there are balances. We don't know how it's coming to the financial statements. What is the root cause? What is the nature of that balance? It means what? It is not linked with the walkthrough test. It is not linked with this code. They have not identified that as a significant account. That's the issue. So then, if you are doing good planning, there can't be any account or disclosure which you don't have any understanding about control environment related to that. Right? So walkthrough test. After walkthrough test, you are doing CRA, combined risk assessment. මේ combined risk assessment එකේ තාම adjective එකක් දැම්මම මොකක්ද? Initial CRA. Initial combined risk assessment. Combined risk assessment we are doing to the accession level. Combined risk assessment which is done to the accession level. Here entity level. Here accession level. අපි understanding එක අරගෙන මේ හරියට ටිකක් entity level control. We understood here the entity level controls, right? But once you are going through this level, this codes go through, you are coming to the accession level, right? And then based on this, you are designing audit procedures and audit approach. Audit procedures and audit approach, right? Audit procedures and audit approach, we are documenting it as a audit plan. We summarize that as a audit plan, right? So this is the group assignment. I am requesting you all to complete. This is a group assignment. I am requesting you all to complete. You may discuss the group assignment. මානෙත් දැන් try කරේ ඒක post කරගන්න බැරි වුණා. අපිට වෙලාවකින් යනවා. Group assignment is you have to do a audit plan for industry. You have to prepare a industry audit plan, including all those things, right? All those things. මේක කියනවා දැනට ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැනට group එකට දාන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාලා group එකක් හදලා තියෙන්නේ group එකේ මේදී මම ඇත්තද නැද්ද කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ Right. I posted the group assignment. I will share via the LMS. That's all about the audit plan. Whatever the things learned from first day onwards to today, you have to practically use for this assignment, right? And so the deadline is 15 November. 15 November. You have to submit the report, and later we will discuss according to your availability the presentations. Presentations, you don't have PowerPoint slides, right? You have to present without any material, right? So that's an important factor. Now onwards, try to do a presentation without this PowerPoints, right? PowerPoint network, that's all about presenting to the you and the audience. You can't refer the boards or PowerPoints, no need. Presentation is all about presenting yourself to an audience. How you can manage audience, icon tags, vocal variations, and then content, the stress, free mindset, all those things matter to give a content to the audience. Presentation is not a time-passing activity, right? Not a time-passing activity. Presentation is a presentation. They are giving something to the audience. The purpose is what? Giving something, some outcome, some take-home message to the audience. Are we doing that? Is the question, right? What presentation කියලා කියන්නේ මාකට content එකක් මතක් කරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා ඒක ඉස්සරහ එනවා කියවලා lecture සැටිස් කරනවා නෙමෙයි. There's a art beyond that. How we can manage people, and then people are not ready to listen. That's why I am telling those stories and 60% ahangin sorry 60% ahangin නැත්නම් අපි දැනගන්න how we can grab that audience. So then that art should be there with you once you are delivering the speech. That will impact the content, the way you are delivering, the voice, eye contacts. One thing is all the gestures will impact that. One nervous වෙලා නම් ඉන්නේ audience එකට වඩා බය වෙලා නම් ඉන්නේ. Ready there. Audience එකට ඉන්නේ බලන්න ඉන්නේ නැහැ. Audience එක මොකක්ද බලන් ඉන්නවා nervous වෙන විදිහට බලන්න. කන්නේ නැහැ. වාත් මම lecture කරනකොට nervous වෙලා බය වෙලා stress වෙලා නම් එදා mentally එකකින් බලනවා. වාම ඉන්නවද? වා බලන් ඉන්නේ සර් මොකක්ද කියන්නේ. වාලි ප්‍රසන්න දෙන්නකොටත් එහෙමයි. Audience එක බලන් ඉන්නේ ඔයා මේක හරියට කරන්නේ නැද්ද කියලා content එක අහන්න. ඔයා ටීම් එකේ කට්ටියවත් අහන්න. ටීම් එකේ කට්ටිය මෙහෙම ඉඳගෙන ඉන්නවා. ඔයා ප්‍රසන්ට් කරනවා. ටීම් එකේ කට්ටිය මොකද කරන්නේ? ටීම් එකේ කට්ටිය අහන් ඉන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ කට්ටිය මතක් කරලා එයා ප්‍රසන්ට් කරනවා. ඒක වෙන්න. That is not a presentation. You have to listen to her. You have to support her. If someone from your team presenting, focus about the content she's delivering. Support her, give eye contact to her, right? And then, accept කරන්න ඕනේ already. ඒක තමයි audience එකට යන්නේ. ඔයා උඩ බලන්න, පොළයක් බලන්න, ඔයා කරන්නේ ඉන්න ටික බලන්න. මේ රංගින ආවම මෙතන don't do that, right? If you are presenting something to some other more and more formal crowd, then you have to present yourself. That's all about your gestures, your attire, your voice, all the things. Keep in mind. So then, from now onwards, you can start, you can listen, you can see your gestures. I expect that input from you all. ඒක වාඩි නිකන් කරන්න බෑ. ඔයාලට mirror එකක් ගාවට ගිහිල්ලා practice කරලා ඉන්නවා. Presentation is like that. So the gestures, everything you have to be practice, and don't depend on a script. Right? So then summarize to some bullet points and deliver it by using a very simple language. Don't want to read high technical words, right? Don't depend on a script. Yeah, you should have a content. Content should be delivered by using your own simple words. That's all about presentation. Right? But English language, writing and presentation language කියලා දෙකක්. But සිංහල තියෙනවා නේද? කතා කරන language එක කියන language. තමිල් වලත් ටිකක් තියෙනවා මම. English වලින් එකක් නැහැ. Writing language and presentation and kind of a casual language කියලා. හැබැයි we have different words, different phrases. ඔයා ලියපු දේම කියනවා නම් present කරනවා නම් it's a bit unusual, right? So then written words are there, talking words are there. So then some of the written words, technical words, we can't use once you are presenting. You have to deliver it in a simple manner. So that the way how you are going to do that is the matter. So then you have to practice for that. right? So now you are comfortable with this concept. So then this means you are done with stuff. Okay. So then after you are getting this practice practically, again you are getting comfortable, you are getting some more comfort about the audit planning. That's my purpose. අපි මුලින්ම audit individual assignment එක කරලා ඉවරයි, right? Group assignment එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා. Group assignment එක අන්තිමටම රාශිය නැති වෙන්න ඉක්මනටම අපි කරලා ඉවරයි, right? Then you are relaxed for the final exam. You have done with audit planning and risk assessment. You have a full assignment. I need your commitment, right, for this. And then you can do a presentation and then planning and risk assessment done. I think you are comfortable. You can ask any questions now about syllabus content or about the presentation. Everything? Then we can move to audit execution. Right. Area number 3, part 1, gathering evidence during an assurance engagement. Right. So then here we are moving to the next step. Execution. Execution of a assurance engagement. In other words, gathering evidence during an assurance engagement. Execution, gathering audit evidence, and performing audit procedures. Same meaning. Performing audit procedures, execution, gathering audit evidence, doing audit responses, all are same meaning. Performing an audit. Performing POC and substantive procedures, same meaning. Basically, we are going to start the audit. Start audit means we are going to practically do the audit. We have a plan. We have a plan. We are going to implement that plan. We are going to execute that plan. So basically, what we are going to do here, we plan audit procedures, right? Audit procedures based on the audit approach. Now we are going to do that audit plan. This was derived. This was derived as a result of this. This was derived as a result of this. This was covered this and this. This was derived based on this plus some other qualitative factors, not only the maturity level, significant accounts and disclosure. So then this link should be on your head. For this execution, the plan was derived from here. Right? So these are the basic expectations. So this is a concept we have already discussed. Once we are gathering audit evidence, once we are executing, at the point of execution, what we are doing is we are gathering audit evidence, right? The result is gathering audit evidence. Gathering audit evidence. This audit evidence should be sufficient and appropriate. That audit evidence obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Sufficient and appropriate. Sufficient means quantity. Appropriate means quality. Your audit evidence should be sufficient and appropriate for the purpose. In other words, your audit evidence should be sufficient and appropriate to the assess audit risk. Then make address කරන්න. Sufficient කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? එතන මේ CRA එක address කරනවාද කියන්නේ. Whether we are going to address this combined risk assessment adequately. කියන එක තමයි is that adequate කියන්නේ. Right. Yeah. Once we are doing audit procedures, let's see how we are going to decide that adequate or not. Right? That's all about the judgment. So then you can ask, how can we decide the sufficiency and then appropriate? That's all about your experience, right? We can't say that this is the benchmark. This is the type of sample you have to select. That depends on the scenario, right? So then one auditor can say that, challenge that to other auditor, this is not adequate. But according to their judgment, that is adequate, right? There's no kind of a boundary. There's no such a benchmark beside the sufficiency and the appropriateness. But it addresses the all audit evidence, right? That's purely the judgment and the experience of the respective auditor, right? Respective auditor. Here we have different audit evidence. You can see, I saw this slide previously, right? I displayed this previously. Here we have different audit evidence. How we can evaluate the quality and the reliability of this audit evidence? These are different sources of evidence. Internal, external, written, original, photocopy, oral, different sources of evidence. How we can trust upon this? How you can put your reliability? Basically, how you can trust? How we can say that this is the strongest evidence? Quality and the reliability. How you can mention that? Measure that. Actually, I'm not good on it. Creative base. Oh, internally, I'm not good. Internally, I'm not good. I'm not really good. Galle advanced financial reporting, consolidation, bill calculation, deferred tax. You can do many things here. If you are having a good passion, interest, I don't see that. You can not be from it. Expenses are different. You know, someone other lectures group accounting without thousand standards. So then that passion should be there. एक है मेरे मानते हैं हताशा के बाद ये मत तेरे आगे नहीं है वो मेरे देखेंगे आशा देखेंगे सेर न तेरे मतलब अगर आते कर तेरे नहीं ये प्रैक्टिस है और ये 15 years audit කරලා එතකොට මිනිස්සු ස්කෑන් කරනවා හොඳටම ස්කෑන් කරනවා ඒක ඒ accuracy එක මට කියන්න පුළුවන් 90% කියන ඒ accuracy 90% read කරනවා ඒක මාරු දෙයක් ඒක මාරු ඒ කියන්නේ in the office or once you are dealing with friends, इतना देर क्या नूला? बस काटिया ना कौन किया नहीं? इतना देर किया नहीं कौन? एक ने किया ना मैंने बुद्धिस्ट वाला क्यों बने? भारत की जान नहीं किया। अन्ना है कि इतना किया भी नूल। मुझे प्रैक्टिस कराना पुराना है। अभी काटिया इतना विद्या रिव्यू करना किया नूला। So then you can do that. एक मैजिक की बात नहीं है देखा डॉक्टर अब गैस लेने देखिए रिपोर्ट है बात नहीं डॉक्टर गोड़ा experience in but as I said in the early lectures once we are seeing once the doctor can at the point of seeing the patient he can tell what are the list of issues he's having without using any stethoscope or any test results with the experience, right? Experience of so then I'm discussing about experience doctor versus experience auditor. Right? So same experience lecturer, experience teacher, professor. So then today we can see the CEO that the lecturer can see the long future of that student. That came from his student grade 5, 6, 7, that should be. That's an experience they are having. That's all about it. Right? You also can do that. Don't worry. You also can do that. Very simple. So my request is, so then earn something from this degree. Sake of getting qualification, don't do it. ये पैसे इनके बाद पूरा मन से भी करके लेपा और डिग्री का चले वाला तो नोट किया ऐसे अगर नहीं से टू रिक्वेस्ट डिग्री को हमने इनके अंदर पूरा वैसे चीज़ है you have to learn something, you have to change, you have to improve, right? Okay, we have different types of audit evidence here. Written audit evidence, original audit evidence, external, oral, internal photocopies, right? Based on the type of this evidence, you can measure your quality of evidence and the reliability. You need to evaluate it. What do you think? How we are going to weight this? Written evidence versus oral evidence, original versus photocopy, external versus internal. So then these large circles, external, written, original are the more priority, strongest evidence as auditor. We are giving more weightage to external evidence, right? Written evidence as well as original documents. Definitely, the photocopies can be prepared, right? Oral evidence, they can say that we didn't tell. They can tell that, right? So then we need to have written evidence. So then once they are telling, you need to request a minute at least, discussion minute or a mail confirmation. Likewise, we need to get a written evidence. External and internal evidence. External and internal. What are the examples? Internal evidence. We may have more internal evidence for audit, right? From to trial balance to the bank reconciliation, inventory list, system reports, vouchers, invoices, all those things, internal evidence, right? As auditor, you should get external evidence as well, like bank confirmation, bank statements, right? Lawyers' letters, and then some valuers' letters, regulatory confirmation, regulators' letters, if it is insurance company, IRCSA letters, legal correspondence, right? All those things can be considered as external evidence, right? And then customer complaints, and then lawyers, I know that. Yes. Yeah, based on the industry, different external evidence are there. Some creditor or debtor confirmation, right? And those can be considered as external evidence. External evidence. So these are the types. External and internal. Different types of evidence. That side internal, this side external. Internal, internal reports, inquiries, calculation, internal audit reports, observations. There are more, right? External, analytics report, confirmation from third parties, computing the data, valuation from independent valuers, expert opinions from independent lawyers, as I discussed. Right? So then we can get regulators reports. So these are examples. You can add some more based on the industry. If you are analyzing hotels, uh, tourist board publishing some reports. Some annual reports are there, right? Confirmation from third parties. You have many third party confirmation. Credit, banks, debtors, right? Debtors, debtors in the hotel sir. The nickel card and stay. Hotel sir, debtors in housing. travel agent. එහෙම පුළුවන්. ඒක තමයි debtors. Guest ledger. There can't be receivable, significant receivable balance in the guest ledger. And travel agent ledger can be debtor balance. Right? But I'm telling you, guest ledger, what amount can I be in guest ledger? Guest la direct customers. Direct customers like period 31st. Once they are leaving from the hotel, they have to pay, right? So then only receivable balance is people who are checking here like 29 December for 10 days, for 10 days, for 3 days for here, another 7 days for here. These 3 days show as a receivable. That is yesterday receivable. Right? And we are getting, as a hotel, we are getting customers from two sources, direct sources and indirect travel agents. Travel agents, what they are doing is they are putting guests for here and they have separate packages and discounts. They are giving their support to the guests and they are putting guests to the hotel. And as a hotel, they are paying to the travel agent end of the month. So then for this month, they are paying this month end, January end. So then as at the reporting date, we have a travel agent receivable balance. Right? So then once you are doing your audit plan, right? If you are deciding your audit procedures to call confirmation from the guest, maybe a other failure. Guest login confirmation call කරන්න බෑ. මොකද guest login confirmation call කරන්න. Travel agent එකක් මේක ඉවරයි. කොහොමද guest කෙනෙක් confirmation එකක් කියන්නේ? ඒකට audit firm එක වහන්න වෙන්නේ දැන් තමයි. නේද? Guest letter confirmation යවන්න බෑ. ඔයා කවදා හරි වැඩිපුර hotels වල ගිහින් නෑ නේද? ඔයාට guest කෙනෙක් විදියට හිත hotel එකකින් confirmation එකක් ආවොත් ඔයා මේ ගන්න ගෙවලා නැහැ කියන්නේ. ඔයා ගෙවලා තියෙන්නේ hotel එකකින් ආයෙත් දවසේ. ඔයා ගෙවන්නේ parties දෙකකට. ඔයා direct ගියා නම් hotel එකට ගෙවනවා. If you are going with the travel agent, you have to pay to the travel agent, right? Once you are leaving from the hotel, once at the point of checkout point, you are already paid, right? If you are getting a letter mentioning that there's a receivable balance as at this reporting date, is a kind of a confusion, right? So then it's a kind of a complaint. As a guest, you can complain to the hotel. That complaint received to the hotel will be direct to the audit partner. Audit partner is audit team में तो मुकान में hotel लेकर audit team में बोला है. Audit team में किसी senior दिन तो खाती है ना. HR के through इधर है ना तब. So then be careful once you are deciding your audit plan. Right? It should be very practical once you are deciding your audit procedures. Okay. Here we have 3 elements to audit, right? Already you know that account balance, transaction and disclosures. I can show that. Hey, what can you do? Kali how to tell? I'll see you then. In financial statements, we have these 3 elements. They are starting audit. They are planning an audit. focusing about financial. Financial consists with account balances and disclosures. This account balances and disclosures came because of transaction. Because of transaction, right? Simple. That's what we are always discussing from this account balances and disclosures and transactions. From account balances and disclosures and transactions, we can't audit 100%. Account balances, disclosures, transactions, we can't audit 100%. We don't want to audit 100% because we are not ready to issue a certificate, right? Because of that, we are selecting significant account, significant disclosure, significant transactions. That's why we are having this S. To select significant one, that's why we are having the maturity level. So then we do focus, we do procedures only for significant account, significant disclosures, significant transactions. Once you are doing that, we do audit procedures to the accession level. CRA was done to the accession level, and we decided audit procedures to the accession level. That's why we are having set of accessions. Accessions are the confirmation given by the management to the public about their significant accounts, about their account balances and disclosures. Right? Occurrence, measurement, existence, valuation. Other green color, three are common to the P&L and the balance sheet. The blue color, existence and valuation, relates to statement of financial position. Occurrence and measurement related to what? For the period, income statement. Right? For the period, income statement balances. For what year and where, revenue make valuation खर्च किया, revenue में मेरा मुनाफा प्लस करना है, revenue ना measurement, revenue ना occurrence, not the existence. Revenue whether it's occurred during the period. For the income statement balances, occurrence and measurement, plus other three, five sessions, right? For the statement of financial position elements, last two and with three. Completeness, perception, disclosure, right and obligation, plus existence and valuation for statement of financial position elements. Right? Are you okay with this? Valuation versus measurement. Existence versus occurrence. Existence means statement of financial position as at that date whether it exists or not. So then you know the income statement concept and the balance sheet concept. Without knowing that, it's really difficult to understand this. Statement of financial position means we are discussing about as at date concept. Right? Income statement means we are getting for the period concept. For the period revenue. Right? For the period revenue means we are worrying about what? Occurrence, whether that happened within that period. Occurrence, right? Not the existence. Occurrence, right? Measurement. Measurement and the valuation. It's like same, no? Measurement and the valuation. No. Valuation means as at the reporting date. What's the value? It was derived from valuation. Measurement means different measures during the period. Right? So then valuation means all items as at that date in the same price. Valuation, value price. Measurement, measurement at the transaction date. How we can measure that transaction. During the period, they are making different measures. Right? So then different measures may be there. Completeness, presentation and disclosure as right and obligation. These are the accessions we need to focus as auditor. So then for audit procedures, basically we have two audit procedures. What are they? Gathering audit evidence. Gathering audit evidence through audit procedures. Audit procedures. Audit procedures can be divided basically into two. What are they? Substantive procedures and POC. Substantive procedures and POC. POC අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කරන්න ඕන නේද? නේද? POC අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කරන්න ඕනද? Is that a must? මොනවද නැද්ද? කියන්නේ ඒකනේ අපි මුලින්ම කියන්නේ POC is option. ඒකනේ අපි මුල්ම lesson එක කතා කරද්දී control එකේ stages තුනක් තියෙනවා කිව්වා. නේද? design, implementation and testing. Design and implementation was tested through walkthrough. It's a must. The operation is an option. Operation will be tested through POC. That depends on what? That depends on what? What is that? A කියලා දාන්න. A කියලා දාන්න මොකද්ද? Audit approach. Audit approach එක දෙකකට තමයි decide වෙන්නේ මේක POC කරනවද නැද්ද කියලා. Audit approach එක decide වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද? CR එක base කරගෙන. What is the audit approach you are going to do? Whether it's design control approach or full substantive approach. We have two approaches. Design control approach or full substantive approach. That will be derived from CRA. It's like a parent if you are reading this like after CRA you are deciding audit approach will be design control and substantive. You don't have any clue, right? So then CRA, you are evaluating what? Design and implementation. Once you are doing CRA, design and implementation is ineffective. Right? Ineffective. You don't have any design, any implementation. If it is so, are you going to do design control approach with POC? No. Why? Are you want to check operation? Or design and implementation and operation? You don't want to check that. Why? Without design and implementation, you can't expect an operation. So then, no need to do POC. You have straight away you have to go to substantive procedures. So that's called full substantive. It means you need to know based on the CRA you decide audit approach. CRA means once you are doing CRA, once you are evaluating your walkthrough results, you have designed whether it's design and implement effective, and then are you going to do design control approach or not design control approach? Right? Not only that, Walkthrough test, this one, right? Walkthrough, giving a result, rely on control. Not rely on control. Listen to this. It's very important, right? It's really important. So then you need to focus this. So walkthrough test, you perform control testing about design and implementation. Design and implementation. After performing this, you have a conclusion. Rely on control or not rely on control or not rely on. Not rely on control. Straight away, audit approach, no doubt. Full substantive approach. Full substantive approach. Full substantive approach. Full substantive approach. Rely on control. You can decide whether you are going to do full substantive approach or rely on control. So then, here rely on control, no doubt. That's okay. This is also okay. How about this? This is the doubtful one. Are you getting what I am telling? Walk through we have already discussed and we have shared some of the examples and we discussed the purpose, everything we have discussed, right? Walkthrough will be done to evaluate design and implementation effectiveness of the controls in different processes. Design and implementation. Through that, we have two results, design and implementation, whether we are going to rely or not. Simple. Rely on control or not rely on control. And then not rely on control. It means design and implementation you can't rely as auditor. So then you are not going to do TOC, you are going to do full substantive approach. Fully you are doing substantive procedures, not doing TOC. That is called full substantive approach. That is very straightforward, you can understand it. Here, rely on control. You rely the design and implementation, you are going to test TOC. That is called rely on control approach. You are going to do TOC, then you are going to do substantive procedures. But here, this approach, rely on control, but still you are going to do full substantive procedures. You are not going to test TOC. Here, TOC no. But still, you rely on the design and implementation. Why you are doing that? That's the question. Based on the cost effectiveness, time planning, work allocation, cost effectiveness basically. But here the company process is reliant control, but matter is what? We don't have much transactions. We don't have many transactions. Very simple process. If it is so, what we have to do? If it is so, we don't want to do substantive procedures. Example. Example here. You have a significant account. You have a significant account. Loan and borrowing. Is that a significant account? Yes. Of the balance sheet. Loan and borrowing is a large balance. But loan and borrowing is a manufacturing company. Only two loans. Only two loans. One is 10 million, other one is 5 million. Only 15 million loans. 15 million loans. 15 million loans in your balance sheet is a significant account. Then you identify a score. You did a walkthrough, right? Walkthrough CRA according to that. According to the walkthrough, design and implementation effective, reliable. Because loan granted with the approvals, right? And the payments, installments will be approved by the management. So whole design was there. Implementation also there. So we rely on control. But we are not going to test TOC. We are going to do full substantive approach. Now we are going to discuss what's the reason. That's all about cost effectiveness of the audit procedures, audit staff, effectiveness of the staff. Why we are doing so? You can imagine we have only two loans, right? Two loans. For two loans, how many installments per year? 24 installments. 24 installments, two loans, 24 approvals. We have straight away the amortization schedule and year costing. 24 items. We can straight away we can check the approvals and everything we can check. 100% we can check. If we can check 100%, why we going about the control testing, TOC? We can do full substantive approach because we are having very less transactions, but significant, right? So then, my conclusion is what? Based on the effectiveness, because the cost effectiveness of the audit procedures, auditor can decide whether you are going to do full substantive approach or line control approach, not depending on the walkthrough results, right? Walkthrough result says reliant control, but still we are going to do full substantive approach. Why? It's a cost effective way. But for revenue, you can't do that. Revenue, reliant control. But within the year, you are having millions of transactions. So then how can you do the full substantive approach? How can you select a representative sum? Really difficult, right? Really difficult. So then basically, if we are having a kind of a company, kind of a long process of revenue, they should have kind of a reliant control process for revenue. Otherwise, we can't vouch that, we can verify that revenue by using full substantive approach. Cash revenue, full substantive approach can't be done because daily we have our cash transactions. Company should have a proper process for that. Design and implementation should be there. Right. Likewise, you can design audit procedures and audit approach like this. Right. So then, that's why I told you TOC is an option. TOC is option. පළවෙනි එක්ජාම් දවසේ මේ option එකක් කියලා දාලා තරු දාගත්තා. ඒක අද තමයි තියෙන්නේ. first day එකේ දාගත්ත තරු දෙකක්. බලන්න first day එකේ note එක තියෙද? Have that note. First day එකේ තරුවක් දාගත්තා කියලා. Option කියලා දාගත්තා තරුවක් නේ. You know, depends on the walkthrough results as well as cost effectiveness. Walkthrough results එකෙන් දෙකයි කිව්වා. නොකර ඉන්න පුළුවන්. කළ වැඩක් නැහැ. මොකද අපි DOC කරන purpose එක substantive procedures වල හැම එකක් තියෙනවා. Six, 7 stars link there's a link between each and every lecture. And fortunately in this subject, each and every syllabus content also linked. That link should be there. Other full professional data make what I done there. Ramadan provider acceptance and capable Audit. So that I have wrote this more than 3-4 times here. Same thing discussing with different logics, right? Step by step, we are going to complete all audit process. Okay. Under substantive procedures, you may have TOD and analytical review procedures. Test of details analytical review procedures under substantive procedures. Sometimes your TOD or analytical review procedures may be PSP or OSP. Private substantive procedures other substantive procedures. See, substantive procedures can be divided into substantive analytical procedures, ARP, analytical procedures. Test of details classifies transaction. Sometimes maybe TOD, test of details, TOD and ARP. Sometimes it can be classified to primary substantive procedures and other substantive procedures as well. You can put here PSP and OSP. So the one category, some of the elements can be divided in different bases. Right? One basis is ARP and TOD. Right? So that based on the way we are doing the procedure. Analytical review, we do analytics. TOD, test of details, we are checking the source documents. Test of details. So then that's the difference. Analytical procedure, depreciation calculation, right? Gratuity calculation. You do pre-calculation. That is all about analytics, right? And then you are cross-checking with the occupancy ratio, with the market ratio, variance analysis, gross margin analysis. That's all about analysis. Test of details. You select the sample and check the invoices. That's all about check the details. The same category can be divided into two primary substantive procedures and other substantive procedures. That is what the importance, the requirements from the standards. So the primary substantive procedures are the standard required procedures, primary substantive procedures. Alternative procedures, which was decided by you, consider as other substantive procedures, primary substantive procedures and other substantive procedures. That is the basic classification. Once you are doing these steps, you can perform inception, observation, inquiry, confirmation, reperformance, recalculation, and different ARPs. These are the activities you can do. You can do inspection for TOC. You can do inspection for substantive procedures. different. Right? Observation, inquiry. These are the activities you can do as auditor. That may be a substantive procedure or test of control. That may be ARP or TOD for inquiry. Once you are doing analytical procedures, you are having different analytical results, unusual results. What you have to do? You have to inquire, right? Test of details. Once you are checking your invoices and deed, you can see some of the invoices is not being approved. What you have to do? You have to inquire. So then that's why I am telling these activities, these actions can be performed by using at the point of using TOC and substantive procedures. Right? Okay. So this background is really important before we are going to the balances. I hope you are comfortable with TOC and substantive procedures. Right? Right. Here, design effectiveness, implementation effectiveness, and operation effectiveness. This is the thing I discussed just before, just minute before. Make a walkthrough test again cover what? Design and implementation. We are covering from operating effectiveness to EOC. Reliant control or reliant control. Risk assessment. Stock material misstatement. Right? Written it out in a plan. Written it out in a plan. Doubt take a mama කියලා මම උත්තරේ දෙන්නේ. Right. So then walk through test, you decide reliant control or not reliant control. And then test of controls also you are telling reliant control or not reliant control. So then you have to assess the risk assessment, combine risk assessment. Right. So then here we have initial CRA, combined risk assessment. That was derived from what? Walkthrough. Design, implement, and walkthrough risk assessment. Decide. And because of based on that, we decided what procedure and audit approach, and decided whether we are doing based on audit approach. We decide full substantive approach or reliant control approach. Reliant control approach. If you are using this, that's okay. We don't need to reassess the CRA. But if you are doing reliant control approach, you are doing TOC again. You are doing TOC again. Once you are doing TOC, you may have again answer reliant control or not reliant control. Then again, you have to reassess the CRA. So then here we have what? Initial CRA, here we have reassess CRA. So then reassess CRA will be used for the substantive procedures. Here, for substantive procedures, directly we are using initial CRA. Initial CRA. We don't need to reassess the CRA because we are not going to do TOC. Initial CRA will be used for substantive procedure. For this, here, after you do TOC, you have to adjust that to the initial CRA and you need to get the adjusted CRA for the substantive procedure. Are we getting this? Take a amount there. පාට ඉන්ටර්වල් දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා තමයි හිතුවේ. අර වතුර බොන්න ඕන, වොස්රූම් ගන්න ඕන, අද්දා දුවන්න පුළුවන්. ටීම් එක මිහිල්ල එළිය වාඩි වෙලා ඉන්න තරම් ටයිම් එකක් නැහැ. We have a requirement, go and counter. Those are human rights. Right. This is the basic approach. If you have a doubt, you can ask. But with clear now again, CR එක reassess කරනවා කියන එක පටහන්න පුළුවන්. මොකක්ද මේ කියන්නේ? කොහොමද වෙන්නේ? මේක මේ CRA කියන එක දන්නේ නැහැ වගේම ඉතින් risk assessment එක යනවා. CRA එක හැදලා දෙන්න මෙතනක් වෙනවා risk assessment. risk එක හැදලා තියෙන්නේ audit risk කියන එක හැදුනේ පාර්ටි දෙකකින්. auditor ගේ side එකයි company ගේ side එකයි. auditor ගේ side එකේ detection risk එක තිබුණා. company side එකේ inherent risk එකයි control risk එකයි. Inherent risk control risk plus එක කිව්වොත් තමයි risk assessment. This is the doubt which will created from, this is the risk which will created from the management side. That's all about inherent risk plus control risk. Inherent risk means the default risk without considering any controls, right? If you have an inherent risk, management is responsible to implement controls. Once they are implementing controls, we are creating another risk. What is that risk? Once you are implementing a control, there's a doubt that that control will be happen or not. That is called control risk. The combination of that we call as combined risk assessment. That was performed to the assessment level. ඒ කතාව කිව්වේ 75 වෙනි පාඩම විතරයි. ඒක තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලා හරි කතා කරලා යා ඔඩිට් කරන යාළුවෙක්ගෙන් හරි කතා කරනවා. ඒක අහගන්න මේ කතාව. දැන් මේ කතාව ඉස්සරහට කී පාරක් විතර කියයිද? තව 150 පාරක් විතර කියනවා. ඉස්සරහා each and every balance this will repeated. ඔය තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒත් නිකන් ලයින් කළා වගේ උඩ බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. ඒක ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ වань මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකේ විතරක් නෙවෙයි හැම සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකකම තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක්. right. මම හිතනවා ඔයාලට තේරෙනවා කියලා. හොඳයි. තේරෙනවා කියන එක තමයි ඉස්සරහට යන්නේ. අපි තේරෙන්නේ නැති කට්ටිය තමයි වඩාත් ඉම්පෝටන්ට්. ඒ කට්ටියට උගන්වන්න ඕන. And I don't want to just complete the syllabus. If it is so, very short syllabus, I can finish it this within another 2-3 lectures. Done and dusted. I'm taking time and very slowly I'm giving these advanced auditing aspects because you should learn this. That's the main purpose, right? Once you are doing substantive procedures, these are the basic workflow. What you have to do once you are doing substantive procedures in a common way, right? Generally, what you have to do, agree opening balances in previous year working papers. Right? Review general ledger for unusual records. Agree client schedules to form account records to ensure completeness. Carry out analytical review. Test transactions in detail. Test balances in detail. Review presentation and disclosure in accounts. So these are the basic steps once you are doing substantive procedures. Whatever the balance, whatever the disclosure, once you are doing substantive procedures, these are the basic steps. What you have to do, you can cross-check with the this year disclosure, this year balance with the last year balance, right? Identify the variance, and then review general ledger for unusual records. What you can do is you can run general ledger account and identify what are the unusual transactions, unusual general entries. Every client schedule for account records to ensure the completeness. Account records and the client schedule. What is that? What is that? Agree the client schedules to from accounting records. Accounting records and client schedule. You can think client in the company. Accounting records. So the normally in the company, some of the companies they are using ERP systems, no? ERP system. If you are using ERP system, you are very lucky because your operating system linked with the general ledger directly. This is one system. Whatever the reports you are generating here at the front end, tally with the general ledger. If you have a ERP system, if it is a subsystem, the reports, schedules tally with the general ledger. General ledger, it's appear debit credit basis. End of the day, you have a receivable account representing different data balances, credit, debit, credit, debit. End of the day, you can get a balance of 2 million, 2 million debit balance. That 2 million debit balance, 2 million debit balance, what you want to do as auditor, as an auditor, you need a kind of a schedule. Schedule means each and every data, A, B, C, D, E, data wise, schedule should be there tallying with the 2 million. That report should be tallied with this 10 million. That's a requirement. You need to check that. If you are in an ERP system, easily this will be tallied. In Srilankan context, maybe less than 2% of companies they are using ERP system for their operation. Right? Majority, what they are doing, they are using a different system for the operation. In the manual involvement they are in between. And GL is another system, another recording system. This will be Extract, Sage, or QuickBook, different accounting package. Operation differs with two systems. In between, there's a manual involvement. They manually make an update the right? If it is so, there's a high risk at that risk whether all the transactions have been recorded to the general ledger. There's a risk. So you need to address that. You need to check that. You need to check that controls. Keep in mind. Some of the companies they don't have this manual intervention, but they have. In between two systems, they have a hub. Automatically, GL can capture this transaction and update that to the general ledger. But still, through this technological involvement, there may be transaction which not transferred to the GL. Update random accounts here, at least here, right? There may be transaction which will block through the hub. So then, whatever all the transaction updated to the all the transaction happened and the operation have not been updated to the GL. There may be risk that will impact to the completeness of transaction. So because of that, what you have to do, whatever the given report should be carried in the general ledger first. Before we are performing your audit procedures, that should be ensured. So procedure කරන්න sample select කරගන්න හැම දෙයකම ගන්න මොකද්ද? මේ report එක DL එකත් එක්ක tally වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් that's a serious inherent issue that should be resolved first and then you can perform audit procedures for the list. So that's what here. Agree client schedules to form accounting records to ensure the completeness. That's what I want to tell you. Right? Okay. important one. And I'm going to schedule it up. We are going to opinion for the financial statement. Financial statement derived from the trial balance. Trial balance, like balance should be carried in the schedule. Based on the schedule, we are going to come out the audit procedures. So sample selection and each and every step should be done to the schedule, right? Then carry out the analytical review. और मैं schedule के पाविච්ची करने और report के पाविच्ची करने analytical reviews कराना. Variance analysis that you can do that. You need to pass this step. And then test transaction in detail. You have to select sample and test of details. Voucher sample लगा क्या वाला invoice change करेगा. So then you are comfortable with the list, and then you are comfortable with the numbers, and then test balances in details, review presentation, disclosure in the accounts. So then finally that should be disclosed in the financial statement. That's it. This is the basic flow you need to get as a guidance for substantive procedures. Whenever the balance you are going to confirm, you need to follow these steps. Basically. Right? Through this, you can identify errors or omissions. Right? Errors or omissions. So then here we did whatever the basic procedures can be divided to ARP and TOD. Here we have clearly defined what are the ARP procedures and TOD. ARP means basic analytics you can do. Industry information, expectation prepared by the auditors, anticipated results of entity, comparable information for the prior period. You can do analytical review procedures. Here, list of details. Right? TOD means test of details. You are checking the source documents in detail. It means review board minutes, read agreement, checking vouchers, checking deeds. You can add some more here. Checking lawyers' letters, going through the bank statement, all the testing through the source documents can be added to here. But here, analytical procedures. To here, you can add some more. Recalculation, reevaluation, calculation about this correlation calculation. Likewise, you can add more. So then those are the basic concepts I want to highlight. Once you are doing audit procedures, basically these are the things you need to focus on. From here onwards, we are discussing each and every balance. I hope you have kind of a basic background about audit procedures now. Here onwards, what we are going to do, each and every balance, audit approach, then one of the significant accounts and disclosures. Significant accounts and disclosure, one by one we are getting here, discussing audit approach, discussing audit procedures. Right? That's the way we are going to do. Here we are having what? Tangible non-current assets. What do you mean by that? Tangible non-current assets. Example. Give me an example. Tangible non-current assets is one example. PPE, IP, or intangible, sorry, agricultural assets. Basically, these three elements: industrial property, property, plant and equipment, or agricultural asset. They are a biological asset or consumable biological asset. So then here we have, I have mentioned here, three standards: 16, 40, and 41. 16 can be PE, 40 can be investment property, 41 can be biological assets. So then what we have to do, if we have PP&E, biological asset and investment property, this is how we are going to do audit approach and how we are going to do TOC and substandard procedures. So that's really important. If you have a question about PP&E, IP or agricultural asset, this is the slide you need to repeat. You can't repeat as it is. Why? You have to customize this knowledge to the case study. Right? Then as I said, in latest exam, I checked the revenue, right? Revenue over which company? TV channel. Revenue over TV channel I checked. So then I can check PP&E balance or agricultural related biological asset balance in a farm, in the agricultural industry. Right? So the way you have to perform is here. First, what you have to do, you need to identify the nature of the balance. Nature of the balance. Study the nature of the balance, right? And then decide whether you are going to do TOC or not. And then once you are doing TOC, these are the steps you need to follow, right? These are the steps you need to follow, and then substantive procedures. So then basically, these are the key areas. So then if it is a PP&E balance, කොහොමද මේක comfortable වෙන්නේ? අපි මේක ගැන පුත් theoretical part එකට යන්නේ නැතුව නිකන් බලමු PP balance එක verify කරගන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. You have the draft financials, right? Draft financials, you are going to do the audit opinion. Because of that, you are there, right? You are there. In the draft financials, in the statement of financial position, we have a balance PP&E. PP&E. PP&E balance at the year end, we have 2.5 million. 2.5 million. The balance sheet is clearly says 2.5 million. 2.5 million derived from different balances. It may be, one may be land, building, or bicycles, equipment, computer equipment, and likewise different assets. Different assets, what you have is, you have opening balance, and then additions, and then what this disposals here, depreciation, finally net balance. Are you comfortable with this? That's all about accounting and basic knowledge. Opening balance, let's say imagine you are doing this is recurring audit, last year you did. So then opening balance, what you can do is you can cross-check with the audited financial statement last year. Right? You are comfortable with opening balance. Okay. Addition. Each and every item we don't have addition. අපි හැමදාම අමුතු උදේ ඉඳලා හවස වෙනකම් මොකද්ද? Addition කරන්නේ. We have limited, right? What you can do is for additions, you can get list of additions and you can check kind of you can vouch whatever the approvals and you can check sound honesty. Or if you have 3-4 items, but you can take like 100% check. land එකක් අරන් තියෙනවා furniture equipment 3-4 අරන් computer එකක් අරන් තියෙනවා transaction 4යි. You can request all the related documents and you can verify it. You can verify and confirm addition. During the period disposal only one. What you can do? You can check that disposal transaction. Right? And according to the useful lifetime, you have calculated depreciation. So then what you can do? According to the useful lifetime, you can independently calculate depreciation. Cross check with this balance. You are comfortable with this, comfortable with this, comfortable with this, and check the accuracy of this balance, arithmetical accuracy. You are totally happy with this balance. That's how we are going to do audit procedures, right? That's how we are performing audit procedures to verify a balance. Now, as a person, no need to be an auditor. As a person, you are very comfortable with 2.5 million. Whatever the balance, this is the thought process we have to follow. Addition, disposal, all those things should be evaluated and verified with evidence. That can be decided, right? So then, whatever the non-current asset, that thought process should be there once you are doing your procedures. You can perform kind of a physical verification, you can perform depreciation calculations, amortization calculations, all those can be performed. And especially deciding this approach is very important, whether you are going to do TOC or not. Some of the instances, if you don't have kind of a physical asset or if there are no kind of a many transactions, what you can do is you can straight away go to substantive procedures. That's okay. If it is a manufacturing company, you can't do that. Why? Daily you have transaction related machines, maybe disposal, maybe additions, right? You can't do that. If it is a company having very fixed, let's say you are having a retail business. Retail business, you are under PP&E, what you have? Only the building and some computer equipment and a vehicle. Are you going to test TOC? No. That depends on your audit approach. That depends on your audit, right? Auditor can decide that whether you are going to do, whether you are going to perform audit TOC or substantive approach. That's all about audit approach, right? Okay. So then one by one procedures we'll discuss next week, right? So then hereafter we are discussing about balances, as I said, intangible asset here and intangible asset here, intangible asset here, and then inventory we are discussing here, right? Inventory. Inventory procedures, right? Inventory count, valuation, and then receivables. Likewise, daily, what we are doing is we are discussing each and every balance. Basically, what are the procedures we need to follow to the account balances and disclosures. We make like more than 2-3 lectures විතර ගන්න. 2-3 lectures විතර ඔයාලට ලබන සතියේ එකේ ආවේ නැත්නම් මට මිස් වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? You will miss one balance, right? It may be inventory, it may be receivable, it may be revenue, expenses, creditors, each and every balance we are discussing here. What are the TOC, what are substantive procedures, and what's the audit approach, what's the nature, accounting requirement. That's really important, right? Accounting requirement, nature, audit approach, TOC, and substantive procedures will be discussed here. So then, from the exam, these are the basic heart of the exam. Audit evidence, audit responses, එතකොට paper එකේ මේ question එක අනිවාර්යෙන් එහෙමම කියනවා කියලා කිව්ව නේ. the question again. Latest paper. Paper के second question के third and two, three questions. Make a mail all paper के तीन. What the question? Identify the key audit risk for the statutory audit for the year ending this. Suggest responses to above identified audit risk. Suggest responses. What do we make here? Audit risk identified. Audit responses. Yeah, responses identified that audit risk with a trend. The related audit risk which you have already identified, the risk areas will be linked with this each and every topic. It may be related to inventory, may be related to PP&E, receivables, revenue, cash, and then responses means the audit procedures you are supposed to perform. To give that answer for these two questions, you have to be here. You have to know what are the audit responses. It's all about how much of mark, 14 marks. Identification of risk and giving the responses. That's really important. That's the area we are going to discuss within next week plus other 2 weeks. Basically, I'm planning to complete that within 3 weeks. All the audit procedures will be completed. So then after that 3 weeks, as a person, you should know what are the procedures you are going to perform for PP&E, cash, revenue, disclosures, everything. So then be ready for that. We'll meet up with a very effective lecture